As a leader, your job is to innovate. Unless you're just a manager and administrator of a predefined existing transactional process, you're likely going to have to bring in something new. And if you're just an administrator, you'll probably be replaced by AI very soon. But your leadership means you bring something new in. And this might be the outcome of a project or a program, or it might be a new process or a new product or an entire new business line or business, or even an entire ecosystem of organizations collaborating together to create value. Because in the end, it's about creating value, right? Because you have to make sure that these stakeholders of whatever thing that you're leading, that they're actually receiving something from that in the end, right? So there's some results that you need to produce. But it starts with leading, right? And leading comes from the word ledere, which means to go ahead and to go before. And it really starts with leading yourself. When you get a new project, you first get to explore what this future you requires of you, right? Because you're essentially projecting into the future when this value that you're trying to create has already been realized, and then ship results back in this timeline. Right? But this starts with figuring out who you need to be at the end of this project, really leaning into the chaos of the unknown a little bit and expanding your awareness in the process, right? Discerning where you have invitations for growth and the responsibilities that are now yours, right? Or what you have to let go of or maybe stretch yourself into in order to be in ownership and drive this process forward. But then you get to determine who you want to be here, right? What your identity will be, what actions you're going to engage in, and what outcomes you're really committed to delivering. And for each of these, of course, having a clear purpose, a vision of what it looks like when it's done, a portfolio to break it down into its components, and ultimately some progress indicators that help you stay on track. Then as a next step, you get to lead your team, right? Meeting them authentically and really keeping them aligned around purpose of this endeavor. Right? And in the process of that, supporting them in expanding their leadership, right? And their capacity to create something, right? And so this is where you really, become a mentor to them and help them to also grow and, become new levels of themselves in order to make sure to create this project together, right? And then, of course, you get to determine you and who you will be as a team. Right, your identity as a team, what actions you'll engage in, for example, even how you have meetings or how you regularly do retrospectives, similar things like that. What actions are you regularly engaging in, and what outcomes are you committed to as a team? Right, again, being clear on the purpose, the vision for when it's done, the portfolio of milestones that get you there, and having progress indicators along the way so that you can adjust your course as appropriate, because as we know in today's day and age, things sometimes change a little bit. And so it's important to not just say this is what it's going to look like in 3 years, but to have progress indicators along the way that help you stay on track. And then you get to also steward your venture from first idea and signals into actually launching something into the world. And then at which stage, in each of these stages, you have to have the appropriate mindset and behaviors in order to move things forward. Right? And again, here you have to, in each stage, lean into the chaos of the new, right, and creating a sense of order or some discipline through committed agreements that ultimately make something real. And as such, you can look at leadership as sort of a dance between chaos and order, right? Between expanding into the unknown, surrendering also to allow for emergence, right? And then capturing this new thing and making it real by creating order, right? New processes, new systems, or artifacts that you're ultimately shipping. And in every moment here, you have an invitation to grow, right? And really thinking in every moment about who you're going to be in this situation, right? So you're constantly playing this game of expansion and contraction of, expanding into your own self and who you could become here. And, making sure that you have some stability, that you have systems to support that. Right? And ultimately, it's always about asking yourself, what value am I creating and committed to bringing into the world? And who do I get to be to make them real?